Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Rockford neighborhoods are shaken over the weekend by more gun violence. The latest on a pair of shootings, plus how the state line is ramping up support for one family after a deadly robbery. Plus, with just over a month until Belvidere Plant is idled, some officials are trying to save it. What the Rockford mayor says about those efforts. And a state-line elementary school is joining only two others as the Heart Safe schools here in Illinois. What the school district wants done before the end of the year. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tom Lewis. Mimi Murphy and Eric Wilson are off tonight. The Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office has authorized charges against a man in the shooting death of a woman at Pinnon's Meat Market last week. Investigators say this man, 40-year-old William Jones, allegedly shot and killed 63-year-old Peggy Anderson in the chest during a robbery. She was walking down a stairway from apartments above that business. Jones then fled in her car. He is charged with first-degree murder and armed robbery. Jones is not in custody at this moment. If you know the whereabouts of William Jones, please contact the Rockford Police Department or Rockford Area Crime Stoppers. Pinnon's is now raising money for Anderson's funeral expenses and supporting her children. Donations have been pouring in on GoFundMe, receiving more than $19,000. That exceeds their $10,000 goal. Market owners say Anderson worked in the bakery for 2 decades, calling her the mastermind behind every treat customers have purchased, saying she made an impact on thousands of people she came into contact with every day. Well, 3 people are dead, 2 others are hurt after a pair of shootings Sunday night. Police were called to 23rd Street, just west of 20th Street, and Middlebury Avenue, just south of Harrison Avenue, around 6:30 to reports of 2 shootings. Police found multiple people shot at those locations when they arrived. A 29-year-old man, an 18-year-old boy, and a 17-year-old boy died from their injuries. 2 others were found with life-threatening injuries. At last check, they were in serious condition. No word on any suspects. Police have not confirmed if the shootings are connected. If you know anything about the shootings, please call Rockford Police or Rockford Area Crime Stoppers. Well, Byron Police need your help finding the suspects in a string of property damage crimes around that city. Officers say the incidents might have occurred last Thursday and Friday in the Rose Meadows, Fawn Ridge, and Black Hawk Park area. Police have learned that many residents have video of possible suspects ringing doorbells. If you do have suspicious video from last week, report it to the Byron Police Department. Less than 1 month until the Belvidere Assembly Plant goes idle. Officials say they're still working to save it. The United Auto Workers Union says has met with President Biden on his staff to pressure Stellantis to direct new product to Belvidere and to steer federal incentives to keep that plant open. Governor Pritzker also working on more state incentives to entice the car maker to stay in our area. Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara says there's a local team, including Belvidere's mayor, who are working with the state's EV czar.
We want to be all on the same page, all aligned, and let the state know, hey, us at the local level know this is important, and we're all working together. Stellantis and the state are continuing to have conversations back and forth about what is needed, so cautiously optimistic.
The Belvidere Assembly Plant is scheduled to go idle on February 28th. Gas prices here in Rockford rise for the 4th straight week. Price of gas rose almost 8 cents in the past week, bringing the average price of gas to $3.47 here in the Forest City. According to Gas Buddy, cheapest station was selling gas for $3.16. The most expensive was selling gas at $3.59. Experts say gas prices might rise slightly in the week ahead, but the window on price drops appears to be coming up on the horizon as we get closer to what's likely to be a significant refinery maintenance period ahead of the summer. The Rock River Valley Blood Center announces the launch of a new campaign. This is in honor of the organization's 70th anniversary. RRVBC's goal is to add 7,000 new blood donors this year. Right now in the area, about 16,000 people donate blood regularly, which is extremely low for the state line. 1 out of every 7 patients entering a hospital needs blood, but fewer than 5% of Americans are donors. In the state line, that number is even lower. Just 3% of those eligible populations are giving.
It's scary sometimes. There are days when certain types are so low that we have to move it around from other hospitals to ensure that the patients that need it have it. And nobody wants to be in that position. If your loved one or yourself were in the hospital and you needed blood, the last thing you want to hear is that you're going to have to wait because it's not available.
Community members are encouraged to schedule an appointment to donate blood. We do have a link to the RRVBC's website. Check out our story on mystateline.com. A Winnebago County elementary school is joining 2 others as the only heart-safe schools in Illinois. The initiative by Project Adam prepares schools for an emergency situation requiring either CPR or AED. Jess Lipson spoke to the principal leading this project. Jess, this is something that hits home for her, isn't that right?
Tom, it was just a few years ago that Dorothy Simon Elementary School's principal found herself in an emergency situation. She lived to fight another day thanks to coworkers springing into action. Now she hopes to teach others the importance of these life-saving skills.
When I explained it to my staff and to the whole Winnebago School District, they were like, oh, we want to be a part of this. What can we do to make our community safer in case something like what happened to me happens to somebody else at one of our schools?
On February 21st, 2018, Heather Baker collapsed during a work meeting. She was experiencing sudden cardiac arrest.
CPR AED training in the state of Illinois is not mandated for educators, but very fortunately, people I worked with there knew what to do.
Baker's coworkers performed CPR, keeping her alive. Now she hopes more people can be aware of this life-saving skill.
I had never heard of it prior, so it's not something I worried about at 28 years old, but going back to work afterwards and realizing that so few people know CPR and AED in communities, I was nervous functioning in this new world and this new life, but I'm very passionate about educating others.
Baker volunteered with Project Adam, an organization with a mission to educate communities about sudden cardiac arrest. This is where she learned about the Safe School Initiative, an effort to help better equip schools to prepare for emergency situations.
It's wonderful, and staff members have explained to me that they feel better, and every time we do a training, they gain more confidence.
Baker emphasized the quick and easy process it took to become a heart-safe school. With the help of school nurse Amanda Wishop, a response team was established. All staff became CPR trained. Last thing was a response team drill. All of this is practiced and enhanced each year.
Sudden cardiac arrest is a prevalent threat. It can happen to anybody at any time. And the only way that we can be prepared is to know CPR and AED and be prepared to do it immediately to save a life.
Winnebago Community Unit School District 323 plans to have all schools become heart safe by the end of this year. For more information on this project initiative, you can visit mystateline.com.
President Biden pays tribute to the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today. Reverend Al Sharpton invited him to be the keynote speaker at the National Action Network's annual King Holiday Breakfast in Washington. King's family among those in attendance. The president highlighted accomplishments his administration has made on civil rights. He also says more needs to be done, including voting reform and improving economic disparities faced by minorities.
This is a time for choosing. Will we choose democracy over autocracy, or community over chaos, love over hate? These are the questions of our time that I ran for president to try to help answer, and that Dr. King's life and legacy, in my view, show us the way forward. We just have to look back. We got to be prepared. With all of you here, together we made some important progress.
Here in the State Line, the Rockford Public Library and the mayor of Rockford are hosting a Martin Luther King Jr. celebration this evening. There will be music from SOAR Assembly, Pilgrim Baptist Church, and others. Local poet laureate Juliana Gamero, that is, will also read an original piece inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. It starts at 5:30, runs until 7. This will be at the Nordloff Center. A Catholic church in Maryland working to uncover the gravesites of hundreds of enslaved black people who were buried on its grounds centuries ago. Washington correspondent Jesse Tourneur reports on what today's work means to a descendant.
I hope her middle name was Ann, too, because that's mine.
Veronica Bryant is meeting family members for the first time, centuries after their deaths.
This is our way of finding who we really are.
Bryant's journey to track down her ancestors, the Queen family, began at an 18th century tobacco plantation in Bowie, Maryland. The same Jesuit priests who owned it enslaved black people to run it, and also built Sacred Heart Catholic Church on the same grounds.
We came 4 years ago and we found Monica.
On Monday, Bryant returned to the church with more family members, strangers, and equipment to discover even more.
She's overseeing all of this, and I'm sure she's smiling because we're smiling.
The Queen family story is one of hundreds that archaeologists, students, churchgoers, and other volunteers are trying to uncover here.
I'm hopeful that we can document everyone who's buried here, even if we don't know their names.
Dr. Laura Mazur, an archaeologist and assistant professor at Catholic University, has been working with descendants, the church, and other community members, like Rabbi Steve Weissman, to clean up the forgotten cemetery.
This is not Sacred Heart's issue. It's Bowie's issue. It's Americans' issue.
Unlike Monica Queen's headstone, most of the grave sites are not marked by anything more than a rock.
Those are the most emotional ones.
There's now talk of constructing a memorial of some kind, as well as the potential of reparations for the descendants. But for Bryant, it's only about one thing.
We won't ever be able to put a price on what we found, and that's the fact of we found family.
In Bowie, Maryland, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we had some rain showers come through earlier this morning, added up to about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch area wide. We still will see a couple of scattered showers here as we go through the remainder of this evening, but not really going to expect too much of that intensity as what we had earlier today. Rainfall totals just under 1/2 inch here in Rockford. You had 7/10 inch out in Galena and under 4/10 inch out in Freeport. So a wet start to our Monday and a very damp end as well. We've got a warm front lifting closer to us. That warm front low pressure system produced quite a bit of severe weather, or should say at least a few severe storm reports back in Iowa. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings actually, lining up from west of Iowa City, south of Cedar Rapids. Had quite a few tornado reports with that around the Williamsburg, Iowa area. Actually, that one just rated an EF1 tornado. Still looking at a little damage there south of Cedar Rapids. No severe weather expected for us here as we go through the night, but with that warm front coming closer to us, we've added back in some more moisture, if you can believe it or not, and that has led to some fog out there. Now that the sun has set, visibility going to be somewhat impacted here as it's going down just a bit. 7-mile visibility in Rockford. We've gone down here into Cal, 1.5 miles, 4 mile in Freeport, and 1 mile in Monroe. The fog going to stick around through this evening, but not expected to last during the overnight. So as we get rid of some of these showers and a cold front moves in, once that wind direction shifts a little more to the southwest, that's when we should start to see some of that fog move out. So it may stay with us through about midnight and then clearing out, but we keep that cloud cover around, unfortunately, for the start of our Tuesday. Temperatures are actually going to stay pretty mild here for the night, dropping down a little as we go throughout the day, so it will feel cool tomorrow, and winds are still going to be a little on the blustery side from the west, northwest at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Then we watch our next storm system as this one works in. This one may have a little more wintry weather, at least at the onset, Wednesday late afternoon, early evening. But as warmer air starts to wrap in, we could very well see most of this transition over to rainfall Wednesday night and then into Thursday, holding on to a little bit of that rain-snow mix once we get into Thursday afternoon. So temperatures tomorrow up around 41. That's early in the day. Numbers will kind of drop back through the mid-30s by the afternoon. We're at 40 on Wednesday. Keeping an eye on Wednesday night, Thursday. Could get a little sloppy, especially if you have more of that mix coming in. There's still some time for that storm track to kind of shift and change a bit. But our temperatures will drop through the low 30s by the end of the week.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
5 first-round NFL playoff games are behind us. There's one more to go tonight. It takes place in Tampa. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers will host the Cowboys. Brady put up big passing stats during the regular season, but he and his Buccaneers were underwhelming much of the time and finished with a losing record, but got into the playoffs by winning the weak NFC South. The Cowboys are stumbling into the playoffs after losing their last regular season game to the Commanders. The Cowboys haven't won a road playoff game in 31 years, and they're 0-7 against Brady in Brady's career.
They got some good players. They got some very athletic linebackers, obviously a very good D-line. So it's tough. It's going to be a big challenge.
This is about our opportunity. It's about what's in front of us. It's about what we've accomplished on our journey through the regular season, with the things that we've learned from our things that didn't go the way we want them to go, and how we apply that to this one game.
You can see tonight's game right here on WTVO. Kickoff will be at 7:15. Well, Matt Nagy is getting some interest from the Tennessee Titans. They requested permission from the Chiefs to interview him for their offensive coordinator job. Nagy spent this season as a senior assistant and quarterbacks coach with the Chiefs. The MLK basketball tournaments that opened with a flurry Saturday wrapped up today. At Jefferson, the Jayhawks took the court this morning in their own MLK showcase against Batavia. Randy Johnson had a huge second half for the Jayhawks, scoring 18 points. Here he powers inside for the basket. Then off the missed shot, it's going to be Johnson with the putback hoop. Johnson again. Nice little fade off of 1 foot that drops. Jaden Prime's contributing for the Jayhawks too. The hard hoop, and 1 drops for him. Johnson again is going to muscle inside. The second attempt, yes, and 1. And then Johnson with another nice post move here. As I said, he had 18 in the second half, 20 in the game. But Batavia's outside shooting was too good for the Jayhawks. Batavia won it 65-48.
Our first warning interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We've got a couple of light showers out there, along with some fog too. Visibility down in a couple of spots, so we may see some locally dense fog here through this evening, but it's not expected to last through the night tonight. Temperatures in the upper 30s, low 40s. We'll see those numbers actually stay pretty steady through the afternoon tomorrow. We've got a chance for some rain and snow Wednesday night.
Thank you, Candace. Have a great night.